Okay, in our guidebook, page 32, step 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. Humility, the definition in our guidebook. The definition we have is being ourself, our whole, pure, perfect, honest self. Now that sounds good, but it can be scary because this means the act has to go. Step 7 is where we ask God to remove the act from us. Karen, will you read what it says about step 7?
In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. But as with most humans, he is more likely to have varied traits.
That is back from what we consider part of step 1, unmanageable, step 3, made a decision, that idea that we're like an actor trying to run the whole show. And we have various ways of doing it. We've been talking about it all morning. Go back to the guidebook. What the big book says about step 7 is this paragraph, when ready. In other words, when we're finished with step 6, in other words, when we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, when ready, we say something like this. My Creator, I am now willing you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. In other words, when we're finished with step 6, in other words, when we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, when ready, we say something like this. My Creator, I am now willing you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. We have then completed step 7. We offer our whole self, all of our parts, to God's service. Parts we have previously judged as good, and the parts of ourself we have previously judged as bad. We are now willing to drop our selfish, self-centered, self-serving judgments of the way we have been designed. Our purpose from here on is to live, really live. An existence of self-protection is no longer for us. No more unlived life. A high-fidelity recording is a true representation of the original performance. It is authentic. It is exact. We want God to remove any tendency in us not to live the life of fidelity. Fidelity is to be our whole, honest self, no matter what the cost to our ego. Men of faith are men of courage. Men of faith are not defensive. They are propelled into life, into the fourth dimension of existence. In step 7, we ask God to remove our shortcomings, our ego's selfish arranging of life to suit ourselves and protect ourselves has contaminated the true, exact, authentic expression of life that God has intended. Our shortcomings have kept us from being a high-fidelity representation of God's presence in the world through each of us. So we have the exact nature of my wrong. I've been trying to manage the world in order to have a sense of reputation, say, or something like that. What are my character defects? Well, I do it by lying, I do it by conniving, I do it by trying to trick you, whatever. Those are my character defects. And what has it done to me? It's kept me from being who I am. It's my shortcoming. I've fallen short of who I am. In church, I heard it, all have sinned, all have fallen short of the glory of God. It's a shortcoming. I've not been who I am. This dang manage in the world has kept me from being me. It's kept me from being who I am. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may be kind. How does it say it? We just read it. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be an ass. I may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest, but with most humans, he's more likely to have varied traits. My act. I'm living to be admired. Or, I'm living to be in control, in command, in charge. Or, I'm living to be cared for, to be taken care of. Or, I've been living to escape responsibility. I've seen these four exact natures of our wrongs a lot of times, these particular four. For this person, what is good to them? Well, kind, considerate, even modest and self-sacrificing, right? For this guy who's just trying to be in charge, what's good to him? Being tougher than nails and efficient. Is that good? And what about this person who's trying to get cared for? What is good to them? Being needy, so you'll come and rescue me. And maybe being really, really sexy. Just an example. And I'm the kind of guy that wants to escape all responsibility. I don't want anybody too close to me. That's how I manage my world and keep myself safe. That's the exact nature of my wrong. What's good to me is stand on my own 2 feet and be independent. How about that? Does that make sense? So what's bad? What's bad to the guy that's trying to be admired? Honesty, bluntness, to the point. He beats around the bush all the time. What's bad to the person who's trying to be in charge, in control? How about vulnerability? Softness? And femininity? See, those are not things that help being in charge. That ain't in charge. The person who needs to be cared for, what do they see as bad? This is really sad. Strength. Independence. And maybe masculinity. And the person who's trying to escape, just live independent, what they see as bad is intimacy, toughness, true toughness, and I'm going to explain that a little bit, and perseverance. Now, this person who's trying to escape all the time, they sound tough, but they're not really tough. They're not tough enough to hang in there when things need to be talked about and something needs to be solved. They just slip away. So these are the good and bad. See, I read this step in the big book. My Creator, I'm now willing you should have all of me, good and bad. And thinking, what the heck does that mean? Well, everything that Dennis thought about himself, he thought being kind, considerate, patient, modest, even self-sacrificing was good. And being blunt and what do you call some guy that's always just to the point, rude almost? Yeah. It escapes me. But yeah, crass, all that stuff. At least that guy's honest. He just says what's on his mind. See, I don't like that. Don't want anything to do with that. So to me, if I'm going to take myself that's been living to be admired all these years, and I'm going to offer myself to God to do whatever he wants to do in this new way, I've got to understand he may make me more honest, and he will make me more honest. It's necessary for me to be who I am, to be more honest. And the person who has lived to be in charge, I mean, they're tougher than nails, and they're efficient. But what about the soft side of life? What about vulnerability, intimacy? Not so much. And what about the person who is living to be taken care of? They can't afford to express their own independence and strength. What a shame. They live as though they're just helpless and needy. You know, it's a shame that, see, to them, that's scary stuff. If I show they actually don't think they have any strength sometimes. I've seen it 100 times where the person who's been living to be taken care of doesn't even realize they have strength and their own independence. And then, of course, the person who's trying to escape, yeah, they look independent, all right. But what about their ability to be intimate and hang in there with you and talk through something and get to the bottom of it and solve something? They don't have any of that. So this prayer is scary. My Creator, I'm now willing that you should have all of me. Everything that I thought was good about me and everything that I'm scared to death of about me, I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness, to my fidelity, to my purpose, to my meaning in life. Take it. Grant me strength as I go out here to do your bidding. This isn't Dennis trying to put himself together. This is Dennis asking God, look, dude, I see what this is going to take, and I don't have any idea how to get there. But let's go. And I say, don't say that prayer unless you're ready to go. And if you are ready to go, say the prayer. It's like a prayer. It doesn't actually call it a prayer in the book. It says we say to ourselves something like this. My Creator, I'm now willing you should have all of me. We're giving our whole self to him and say, make us what you want us to be in the first place. I'm done trying to manipulate the whole world, but I need your help. Fix it.